Good Monday, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the daily video forecast discussion for this Monday, a much calmer start to the week on the 6th of June, June 6, 2016. We'll start out with the morning observations and then go into a brief review of Sunday's stormy weather here across the northern mid-Atlantic. Right now we've got a weak cold front approaching from the west this morning, and that will pass through. Notice all the clear skies. These are clear to partly cloudy skies. There's some interior fog here this morning where the dew points are still meeting close to the air temperatures this morning in the mid to the upper 60s across the region. And as I mentioned, there's some interior fog this morning, but that will all begin to burn off nicely with lots of clear skies as this cold front moves in and passes through the region during this morning, and we get into a northwesterly flow, as we can see from the pressure fields here. A better look at this from the GOES East visible satellite imagery this morning shows some interior fog, some low clouds here scattered about, but mostly clear skies across the forecast region this morning outside of the interior fog. Here is the moisture that was left over from our cold front and storm system that moved through the region yesterday with plenty of rain. We'll get into how much rain fell and all of that in just a moment. Here's the Doppler radar, which shows the precipitation now exiting off the Carolina and the Virginia coast this morning. And with that cluster of showers and thunderstorms that moved in from the west late Sunday afternoon and evening, we had reports of lots of tree damage, lots of trees and poles down across portions of the entire forecast area, and some very strong thunderstorm wind gust into the around 50 miles an hour right here in eastern Jersey and around the coast. And around Philadelphia and south through southwestern New Jersey, we had wind gusts between 50 and 74 miles per hour. Just some incredible wind and rainfall and tree damage across the region. And a substantial amount of rain fell across the region yesterday as well, so we're in a deficit of about 2 to 3 inches, so we're making up for that slowly, and probably more so as we head into the summer here. We've got precipitation amounts anywhere from 1/2 of an inch to well over an inch across the region where heavy downpours occurred during yesterday. Here's our Doppler review of yesterday's showers and thunderstorms with bow echoes and signatures in them as they raced off the coast last night. Pollen forecast for today and tomorrow still on the medium side with grasses and trees as well. Pollen forecast for the rest of the week from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be on the medium to the high side. On the aviational weather deck today, we just have some areas where interior fog is a problem this morning, but outside of that, we're expecting VFR conditions to be in place and they'll linger through most of the day. There has been some lingering low clouds that are restrictive visibilities in that fog at a few locations, and they seem to have ended. They cannot be ruled out through daybreak, which is occurring still right now. Otherwise, good flying weather is in store with a west to southwest wind that could gust as high as 15 to 20 knots during this afternoon before decreasing to less than 10 knots by evening. The outlook for Tuesday through Wednesday, mostly VFR through there, is a small chance for MVFR conditions and any shower or thunderstorm on Tuesday and Wednesday, primarily during the daytime hours. Thursday and Friday, VFR conditions are expected. Right now outside of Newark at 66, dew point 64, so the humidity is still high at 94%. The wind is southwest at about 7. A few clouds at 700, broken at 11,000. That's all going to improve with lots of sunshine out there during this afternoon and some scattered clouds as well as the cold front moves through. Philadelphia right now at 69, dew point 65, humidity 87%. The wind is southwest at about 13. A few clouds at around 11,000, scattered at about 25,000. VFR conditions in place. This is the latest on Tropical Storm Colin as of 4 a.m. this morning. Maximum sustained winds now have been upgraded to about 50 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure, 1,004 millibars. It's located at 25.2 north, 87.4 west. It's moving to the north-northeast at 12 knots, about 14 miles per hour. Hurricane Hunter planes from the Air Force and NOAA have been into the storm this morning, and they're showing that the storm is actually stronger. And it is right now about 360 miles to the west-southwest of Tampa as of 4 a.m. this morning. Again, maximum sustained winds about 50. Tropical storm warnings are in effect now from Indian Pass to Englewood and Altamaha Sound to Sebastian Inlet. Tropical storm watch means that tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area. and also a tropical storm watch in effect north of Altamaha Sound to South Sante River. Once again, at 4 a.m., the center of the storm was located at 25.2 north, 87.4 west. Colin is moving towards the north-northeast at about 14 miles an hour. A turn to the northeast with an increase in forward speed expected during today, and a rapid northeast motion expected tonight and Tuesday. Now, on this track, the center of Colin is forecast to approach the coast of Florida's Big Bend area this afternoon and evening, move across portions of Florida and southeastern Georgia early Tuesday morning, and move near the southeastern coast of the United States later on Tuesday. Again, maximum sustained winds have increased to 50 miles an hour, and tropical storm force winds extend outward to about 185 miles, mainly to the east of the center. Colin is expected to produce rainfall amounts of 3 to 5 inches, with isolated maximum totals up to 8 inches possible across northeastern Yucatan Peninsula, western Cuba, western and northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, and coastal areas of the Carolinas through Tuesday. The combination of storm surge and tide will cause normally dry areas near the coast to be flooded by rising waters. The water could reach the following heights above ground if the peak surge occurs at the time of high tide. Across Indian Pass to Tampa Bay, 1 to 3 feet with slightly higher amounts possible in a few locations. In Tampa Bay south to Florida Bay, about 1 to 2 feet. The next advisory coming up again at around 7 a.m. with a full advisory up at 10. Honing in this morning at 6 a.m., we can already see the rain on Doppler increasing across the west coast of Florida, interior near Orlando, Daytona Beach, and we've got lightning strikes offshore from St. Petersburg down to just north of Cuba here, and all of these showers and thunderstorms will be moving over land during the next 12 to 24 hours. Here's the latest forecast track now from the consensus models here on Tropical Storm Colin. It's still in the Gulf of Mexico right now. It's expected to cross the northern western shores of the Panhandle here south of Tallahassee at around 1 o'clock on Tuesday morning, with winds gusting to about 63 miles per hour. Main sustained winds at about 52. Crosses over the coastline and back into the Atlantic by 1 o'clock on Tuesday. It's out south of North and South Carolina and Georgia with maximum sustained winds at 58. And then a cold front, a series of cold fronts, actually going to help steer this storm all the way out into the Atlantic as we head into Wednesday, still as a tropical storm. Forecasted charts from the Weather Prediction Center. Here comes the first in a series of cold fronts across the region as this upper low really begins to strengthen and deepen here south of James Bay in Canada. Here is our tropical storm Colin this morning out into the Gulf of Mexico. We move into the morning hours or the afternoon hours. It's getting closer to the western and northwestern panhandle of Florida here. Meanwhile, that cold front has now passed off the mid-Atlantic coast states. And here's another series of cold fronts moving in, providing afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms both Tuesday and Wednesday. By the time we get into Tuesday morning, Colin is already now into northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, with lots of heavy rainfall expected, several inches. Many areas here are going to have some flooding issues right along the coast and over the interior that has been so dry. Meanwhile, this front will now begin to get hung up a little bit as Colin makes its way out into the Atlantic. As we head into Tuesday morning, Colin is now situated off the South Carolina-Georgia coast. It's still a tropical storm. We have a frontal system nearby just south of our forecast area, and here is another cold front approaching in the upper northwestern flow, circumnavigating around this upper low south of James Bay, Canada. Finally, high pressure continues to build in, and this cold front will move through the region on Tuesday night, providing a few more isolated showers, mainly to the north, but it cannot be ruled out here in northwestern New Jersey, an afternoon or evening shower as well. And this front here and this decaying front here will push Tropical Storm Colin further out to sea with no immediate impacts. The only immediate impacts that we see from this still on Tuesday and Wednesday will be the residual showers and thunderstorms that will be in this hatched area here for most of Florida, excepting the northwestern panhandle. By Thursday, we're just left over with this residual frontal boundary here across the Gulf of Mexico into Florida with additional showers and thunderstorms in this area. Meanwhile, high pressure building in Our upper level low beginning to retreat further away, and high pressure beginning to build in and ridge in from the Ohio, Tennessee, and Mississippi River Valley area, providing dry weather for our forecast. And that remains the forecast for Thursday and Friday at this time. Saturday right now, that gets a little bit more complicated. The high shifts off the east coast, and we have another disturbance along a warm frontal boundary, which will be developing as the next system approaches from the northwest and the west. And this is going to set up a frontal boundary that's going to be nearly stationary across portions of the metropolitan area, especially the southern portions of our forecast zones. And we'll get into this as we head into Saturday and Sunday in the forecast details. And right now it looks like high pressure is going to be mainly in control of the forecast, but we do have some wet periods to talk about. Max temperature forecast for today getting into the 80s with a southwest flow just about everywhere, so it's going to be a delightful day today. We get into a more westerly flow after the cold front passes. Tomorrow's highs again upper 70s to around 80, 83 or so in Philadelphia will just about do it in the New York City, and Newark metropolitan area. By Wednesday, a secondary cold front which will be passing through on Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night leads to temperatures that are going to be quite chilly around here. Temperatures averaging in the upper 60s to around 70 with a cool pool on Wednesday. An afternoon and evening diurnal shower or thunderstorm is possible too. By the time we get to Thursday, that cold pool still over the top of the region with temperatures generally running in the 60s to around 70. So it's going to be chilly across the forecast region than what we've been experiencing. Temperatures on Friday again start to warm up back to near normal levels in the low to the mid 70s with a northwesterly wind. Saturday we warm it up even further into the upper 70s to around 80 in the metropolitan areas of Newark, New York City, and Philadelphia. And on Sunday, temperatures again near seasonal levels, upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Cooler along the South Shore and east ends of Long Island, and of course all the coastal zones. GFS maps into motion. Here comes a secondary cold front vorticity maximum spinning through the region on Tuesday, providing us with an isolated to scattered shower across the region. That moves off the coast. Here's what's left over on the northern fringes here of Colin, moving off the Carolina coast and everything out to sea. Then we get into a northwest flow, but some chilly air. Notice these height falls here with 540 thicknesses, and a northwest flow means dry weather on Wednesday and Thursday. Predominantly, there still is an outlier shower possible on Wednesday afternoon with another vort max moving through, but by Thursday, high pressure begins to ridge in and build into the forecast region with modifying temperatures. And as we get into Friday afternoon, this frontal boundary to our south is going to initiate some warmer air advection, which would be producing some showers across the Carolinas into back into northwest into Ohio. But high pressure would still be in control of our forecast zones into Saturday and Sunday. Now, the next disturbance comes Saturday night and Sunday out of the northwest flow. This could bring some rain showers and a cooler air mass overall for next Sunday and Sunday morning before that goes out to sea. The rest of Sunday looks dry at this point. Another frontal boundary looks to set up here in the baroclinic flow to our west and southwest as we head into the early part of next week, but mainly dry weather is anticipated until we head into the early and mid part of next week. In fact, it probably will remain dry around here until the middle part of next week, predominantly. So any shower or thunderstorm activity that occurs over the next couple of days will be light, generally less than 1/10 of an inch, and that would be on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons in the cold pool aloft. And last but not least, the New Jersey surf zone forecast for today, Monday, June 6th. Basically sunny, temperatures in the lower 80s, beach winds out of the west at about 10, surf around 3 feet, UVI index high at 8, so sunscreen a must, rip current risk low. Never swim near piers or jetties, and never swim in unguarded beaches. Right now, high tides occur this morning between 9 and 9:30 a.m. So for everything live, it's GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Google+, Twitter, and Facebook as well. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a spectacular Monday. We'll be back in bright details tomorrow morning.